very excited to be speaking to political actors, our leaders in different political parties, about the ideas that they have for the Namibian people ahead of the November regional and local authority elections. We are coming to you live from Oluno, a very, Andimba Toivo Secondary School, named after myself, or I'm named after the legend himself, and we are excited to be here. We just want to first and foremost thank the very good people of this Andimba Toivo Secondary School for hosting us, because they understand that as a nation we must have a conversation among ourselves, exchange ideas for the betterment of society. Tonight on the platform we are joined by, to my immediate left, Christine Esperance Auhamus. She is the secretary, the National General Secretary of the Independent Patriots for Change. Thank you, National NGS, for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, wonderful. And then next to her is Mr. Nicodemus Bayo Amadila. He is a SWAPO councillor on the Ondangwa Town Council. Thank you, Mr. Amadila, for making time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, wonderful.
Welcome to Ondangwa.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Next to him is Mr. Johannes, Martin Johannes. He's also a former councillor for the Ondangwa Town Council, but also served briefly as a member of parliament for the Popular Democratic Movement. Thank you very much, Mr. Johannes, for making time.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, wonderful. And then next to him is Eliud Mwamenange. He's an activist of the affirmative repositioning movement. Thank you, Mr. Mwamenange, for making time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, wonderful. Next to him is the legend himself, Mr. Sigo Amnyala. He's an entrepreneur who will also, we will know his political affiliation in a moment, but thank you very much, Mr. Amnyala. I'm thankful for Amnyala for making time. Thank you, Chief. I appreciate it. And last is, not least, of course, is Moses Silas from, Silas Moses?
Yeah, from the Landless People's
Yes, absolutely, from the Landless People's Movement. Thank you, Silas, for making time. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, wonderful. So when we're speaking, let's just bring that mic very close. So let's have a conversation. A bold one, civil, but bold. And I'm starting with Mr. Madila because he's the host. Just tell us about how the past 5 years has been from your perspective as councillors for this legendary town of Ondangwa, and whether there's something new that we can expect from the ruling party in the next 5 years after the elections, or you want to continue on the same trajectory that you've been on for the past 5 years?
Thank you very much, Mr. Toivo, for having me, and I really respect the invitation.
Thank you.
But I wanted to put in spot that because as a council for SWAPO, you have become a representative. So SWAPO stands with the rules of justice, and solidarities. So with the structures, Ondangwa is part of the district. It's part of the regional and then the national. So when you become a council, you need to go through that structures. And then you need to follow the manifestos of the party that sends you to serve the people. So coming back to your question to say, what's my reflections in terms of these 5 years that we have been serving in Ondangwa? So we've been following the instruction through the manifesto of the SWAPO. 2020, 2024, 2025. So in terms of service delivery, so if everybody can testify, Ondangwa before we took over the leadership. So we make sure that we provide housing, sanitations, and also the current project that we are carrying out in terms of youth empowerment. So we realize that young people need also to have a time, to have an opportunity to showcase their talent. During our deliberations, we made the decision, very aggressive one, to say, let's, as a team, come up with a project so that young people can able to also to participate in these civic duties. So that's why you heard Ondangwa was talking about the stadium. So that's our one of the part of the manifesto for the SWAPO. We are not really doing it in a different way, but we follow what our leaders has been assigned to do.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
May Okhamus talk to us about your party's plan for this legendary town. You are not in charge now like you are in some local authorities, but why must IPC be given the opportunity to lead this town?
Thank you very much. It's a very good question. Firstly, I must commend the councillors of Ondangwa Town Council, because there are only two political parties in that chamber, and it's SWAPO and the IPC. Yeah. And it's one of the few local authorities where you really see elected officials take on a mandate given by the electorate and working together, putting aside political regalia, political ideologies, but to serve the people that have given them that mandate. Having said that, as a political party, we have demonstrated when we are in charge what our plans are for the people of Namibia. We have demonstrated that what is critical at the end of the day is what the masses demand, which is service delivery. Sorry, of course, as my colleague has said earlier on, there are a lot of difficulties when you are in a local authority, and I really hope that we get to talk about issues that have to do with decentralization and empowering local authorities to be able to deliver on that mandate. And because of the very nature of democracy that makes up a local authority, it becomes very difficult because decisions of council are taken by a majority of councillors in the chamber that day. Yeah. That's a decision of council. It's not a decision of an individual, it's not a decision of one political party. Yeah. And that makes it difficult because whoever is in the majority, if they are not upright, if they are not truthful, if they're not sincere, could take decisions that might not advance what the electorate has mandated the local authorities to deliver on. So those are the challenges. But to be clear with you, our intention as a political party is to ensure that we deliver the services that are required. We have basic needs that we have failed to achieve over the last 35 years. In many respects, there are a lot of good things we've accomplished, but we are facing difficulties. I mean, my brother is talking about provision of sanitation. 35 years on in an urban center such as Ondangwa, that shouldn't be a problem. It should be something that my people in Okalongo should be prioritized for. But in an urban center, we should have planned that we deliver those basic services. Housing shouldn't be a priority in an urban center. Ondangwa is one of the oldest towns in this country, yet we are still struggling to provide those basic services. And that is our foundation, to make sure that we start from the bottom, we correct the basics. And once we've done that, we then climb the tree further on to provide things that have to do with the technology that my brothers were fiddling about. I think for now, I would like to stop there.
Absolutely. We have an hour ahead of us. Mr. Johannes Martin, you were a councillor in Ondangwa Town Council, representing your party, PDM. Yes. You are no longer there. What happened? Why is PDM not represented on that town council? What is it that you didn't do that made people say, nah, but PDM must be checked out?
I won't say we are not there because there's something that we didn't do that caused us not to be there. Yeah. But everything happened based on the wills of the people. Yeah. And it's always the best candidates that comes through. Yeah. And I believe that's what causes what it is now. But the mark of Martin in Ondangwa is visible. Yeah. There are many motions that I brought forth within the council that materialize, and the communities are happy. Yeah. Even what we are talking about concerning the stadium, it came during our tenure when I was still there. Yeah. And there were many activities within the vicinity of Ondangwa. We talk about many issues concerning speed humps that people were complaining. If you go in the council and you reflect back on the events of from 2015 to 2019 when I was there, there were a number of motions that I brought forth concerning speed humps. They are visible, the tennis court, near Shinime Shivola and the one just nearby the Bank Windhoek and so on. The mark of PDM is within Ondangwa. So we are not there now, but we have made our mark.
Do you have intentions to come back, or you have completely given up?
Me as an individual, or us as a popular democratic movement?
No, maybe just yourself. Do you want to return to continue from where you left off things? Do you have any ambitions?
No, Toivo, I'm one of those leaders who believe that once you have done your part, you have done your part. You must allow another generation to take from you. So that is what I will answer for now. I don't have an intention to come back and be a councillor again, but I can advise my members or those who are representing us and they're ambitious to take part within the local authority.
Absolutely. Elliot, your party is the last born of political parties in the country at the moment, if you're talking about those mainstream parties now. Of course, third largest at the moment in the country. But you grew from almost nothing. Do you have, what are the plans for AR in areas like Ondangwa?
Thank you very much, Toivo, for having us. So yes, we might be we are the third largest political party, but now remember, as the AR movement, we operate as dualism. One is a movement, the other one is a party. So now, as a movement, we've been having programs and activities that we do. So now, when we registered with ECN in June last year, the situation on the ground. Yeah. So now, the issue of housing, our leaders would understand it. The issue of sanitation would understand it, electricity and all of that. They would know that for 35 years, this independence project has failed to give those services to the people. So if we come in Ondangwa, the first thing that we would do is that you would want to have a local authority that delivers services directly. When you come to workers, for instance, you insource them.
One of many ideas, and we'll come back to you. But I think you've laid the ground. I don't want you to empty your tank right now, but thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. Tatesigo.
Do more. Yeah. Now we are facing the local and regional elections. Yeah. But remember, the business, the people that are having coins and notes are the backbone of this country. Yeah. That means without people that are making business here, you are nothing. Yeah. So what we have to do is to strengthen the business people to come together and to see how we go on forward. What Swapo did, not enough, but and we can see the economy of the country is a bit down now, but will be only
It will be surprising to a lot of people watching from home right now that there's actually a presence of LPM in the north, because people tend to think that LPM is from another part of the country. What is LPM's blueprint for the northern part of the country, knowing already what you are doing in the south and other areas?
Thank you very much, Mr. Toivo and everybody. The Landless People's Movement's aim is to restore our people's dignity. Now, as a political party, we have now to look at all the challenge that the masses or the voters are facing. Now, once we find out many people are complaining, some they come to the position or to the extent whereby they can grabbing the land on our own, which will become a crime because it is illegal. Now, as a councillor, now we have to look at when did the people applied for the land? Or the people never apply the land, they just wake up from home and go grabbing the land? So now, those are the challenge the masses are facing, and those are the problems that we know we have to target them first before anything else. Secondly, our people also, most of the kids during rain season, so parents, they will end up killing their kids so that they can help them to cross those rivers. So it is also a challenge. And once we become councillors, we have to sit with others. So if they have got to that plan already, so we have to now start where they have ended. If they wasn't having that plan, so we were implementing that.
Absolutely. Did I hear that you are a candidate for your party in the election?
Yes, I'm the candidate for...
You are endorsed, everything is... You are on the path already to council?
Yeah. I think I see no limit there.
Okay, you see no limit. Nobody will stop you.
Thank
We go back to Mr. Madila. Yes. Mr. Tate Amnyala made a very good point about businesses being the heartbeat of the economy. How is a town like Ondangwa helping people like Tate Amnyala here and others to thrive, knowing also that they will then pay their rates and taxes back to council, and then council can do other things? What is in place? What are the incentives for people like him?
Yeah, thank you very much, Tevo. A very good question, because Ondangwa is established by the principal, because it's a part of it's a third organ of the government. Yeah. So, and we have to comply and align with the policy and act of the national. So, Ondangwa is one of the, as the SG indicated earlier, to say the best in terms of the leadership. Because first and foremost, we have to hear the voice of the people. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that once we realize, when we took up the leadership, we realized that during that COVID, so the economy became so unbearable. And then we decided to say, and most of the businesses cannot meet and acknowledge, honor their bills. So we come up with an incentive to say, let's waive the interest so that they can able to, we cannot really completely to say exempt or cut off the debts, because also the council is also maintained through the revenue correction. Yeah. So what we did is to make sure that we also collaborate with them in terms of decisions. We also make sure that we engage with them, and then they can able to say, let's say now we have an issue of housing, for example. Not really housing, but constructions. So we make sure that we allocate plots to the developers. This is also to make it easier there in terms of getting some profit, so that they can able also to cover other costs. Yeah, so what we are doing, it's not really to say just for SWAPO, but SWAPO is a leading government. This is something that we need to commend is through the line ministry, because we are talking about decentralization. Sometimes when you are making decisions, you need also in consultation with the minister. Yeah. So once the minister understands the impact of the economy recession, they can able also to say, okay, this is an initiative that can able to be within the business people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Meme Akhomis, tell us about your experience as a political party that is leading a municipality or a town council when there is central government on top. You are the ruling party, if you like, of some key towns in the coast, Walvis Bay, Swakopmund. But I suppose you don't have the overall authority. You still have to go to the minister, who's a SWAPO minister. Of course, these are our national leaders. They are ministers for all of us. But there will always be politics in some of those situations. What has been your experience as a party?
You know, that's a very tricky balance, the separation between national government and local government.
Yeah. Let me contextualize.
Yeah.
Just, I know that you understood me, but let me just add this. So, in Walvis Bay, for example, there's a lot of challenges. People are saying these are new challenges, they never really existed. Some would say, for example, crime has gone up. Then some people will say, but crime is a responsibility of the national police, and the national police is not under IPC in Walvis Bay, and therefore it's not really us, and whatnot. So that is the context of my question.
I get you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I will speak to Walvis Bay because that's the one you've made reference to.
Yeah.
There are a number of things we need to understand, and I'll use the example of the roads. The road conditions in Walvis Bay are not only a matter of maintenance. There are ecological and environmental factors that are involved in that. You don't have the same consequence that you have in Walvis Bay and Swakopmund, although both are coastal towns. Walvis Bay is a lagoon, and with that it has its own environmental makeup that also has consequences to the type of material we use to make roads in our country. That's one. Secondly, roads in Walvis Bay did not deteriorate overnight. It's a systemic failure of those that have been in power to maintain the roads that have caused the roads to get to where they are. The current councillors have a plan, and they have now started. This plan, Walvis Bay as a harbour town has got a lot of trucks that come into Namport. They drive through city centre, they cause a lot of damage. If you travel the road between Divundu and Katima about 2 years ago, there were huge potholes that could swallow cars. That's how big they were because of the copper trucks from Zambia. I'm giving context. And that's exactly what has happened in Walvis Bay. The pressure of the trucks that are going into the harbour.
AITSA is 'n echt Namibiese inisiatief. Ons reis op die hartklop van Afrika en vertel stories van mense en hul dorpe.
Over the last 35 years, consistently maintaining and ensuring that we maintain a good standard for the roads that we have in Walvis Bay. The trucks go through the town, and because they are going through the town, trucks pay their, what are they called, levies to the road authority, not to the municipality.
Yeah,
the municipality does not collect that revenue. It relies on the, is it Road Fund Authority, RFA?
Administration.
It relies on them to give them funds for maintaining the roads. We managed to get that fund availed, about 270 million, if I'm not mistaken, for Walvis Bay for the maintenance of the roads. There's a lot of politics that goes on in Walvis Bay. So when the tenders were put out for bidders to bid for the maintenance of the roads, there were all sorts of objections to those tenders. By the same community of Walvis Bay and the same business people who are complaining about the infrastructure and the roads in Walvis Bay, objecting to the awarding of those tenders. Now, don't get me wrong. If there is any irregularity in the process in which those bids were issued, by all means, let's hold them and do it right. But if it is something that is sinister because people want to make IPC to be a political party that has failed in delivering those services, then I've got a problem, and then we've got a bone to pick. Yeah, sure. That's one. The third thing that Walvis Bay has been worried about was Farm 37 and the land issues that my brother was talking about in providing housing for the people of Walvis Bay. It was the other political party, particularly the SWAPO councillors, who were objecting to us getting Farm 37 serviced. The councillors secured funding to get bulk services there, to be able to construct housing for our people, so that we do away with the shack fires, the backyard flats, shacks that are always burning and causing destruction in Walvis Bay. All of these decisions, Toivo, are subject to ministerial approval. If the minister and the former minister of Moort, I've not really had experiences with the current minister in terms of Walvis Bay and the running thereof. But the former minister of Moor has been extremely difficult in providing support so that the council is able to move. They've now procured 5 trucks, right, to do refuse collection. They have had trucks in Walvis Bay that were donated by some country in Europe. These are things that they discarded in Europe and they were donated to Walvis Bay Municipality. Walvis Bay Municipality, for the first time since independence, has got a clean audit. For the first time, Walvis Bay Municipality has got revenue in its coffers that they are now able to deliver services if we move politics aside.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Okamus. Mr. Johannes, my brother, one of the thorny issues at the moment, one of the big conversations in the country right now is around the issue of debt collectors that have been hired by municipalities to collect debts for them. I know that the main company that gets spoken about is Red Force, but for me it's not about the entity, it's about the concept itself of municipalities hiring third parties to collect funds for them. What is your take on that issue?
Thank you, Trevor. Maybe first we have to start. How do the people end up having debts? Where did it start from? And probably that is where the system is failing. Like I said, maybe the first point where we have to start, it's how did the debts came up? How did the people end up accumulating debts? Probably that is where the issue is. Yeah. And probably the problem I'm seeing is the mechanism within many of local authorities on how to collect what is due to them from the people that live within the community. And also, communities are not well educated. How do they get the service and what is expected from them, that whatever service is rendered to them, they should also have to contribute something. And that is where the most problems start from. If local authority can engage community before they take any decisions, because people are not failing to pay their debts just because they don't want to pay, but they also lack understanding on how the whole process works. If municipalities can involve community in every decision that they make, then at least most of these things will not be there. Now, what we see, because municipalities or who are in charge of municipality, they see themselves as superior, whatever comes in their mind before they even involve in local that they are accountable to, they just take a decision. At the end of the day, who suffers is the local. But if the locals were involved in the decision making and isn't to understand how the process of acquiring land, acquiring water, or whatever service that you get from council, how this process takes place, then people will be able to come forth. Because in the same way as I go in the shop, buy what I want, and I have to pay. If people are able to pay when they go to ShopRite, why are they not able to pay when they get water, when they get land, whatever they get? Is the understanding that is lacking and the channeling of connecting the people that you are leading.
Mr. Madera is shaking his head. Mr. Madera is shaking his head. Chief, what is your interjection quickly before you, what are you saying to Mr. Johannes here?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to correct him to say, because the local authorities is also established, I mean, it stands on in terms of, this is a national, I mean, it's a governmental institutions where you have also the structures. You have the technocrats, then we have the councillors, then the community, which as a political representative, you have a social contract with your people, where you engage with them any and everywhere. So you are from the community. I wanted just to say, it's like they feel like you are the superior, because the thing is now, we have the issue of Namibians, is the way how they understand things. Let's say now, Toivo invited people here. How many people that are turning up? So we have young people here that are turning up, but where are the community members? There's the issue of engagement, community engagement, and public awareness. The problem with us, we don't really want to, if you see Amadila's there, you feel like, yeah, this is for Amadila. But there are a lot of documents, public documents. You can Google them, they are there. Local Authority Act 23 of 1992. We have a debt collection policy and a credit policy control and debt management policy. Is part of where you can go through those documents. So that's what I'm saying. As Namibians, we really need also to understand how your leaders make decisions. There's also a provision in Local Authority Act to say during the council meeting, the public, they are free to attend on invitation. But now, since we were in our leadership, it's hardly to see them. But on social medias, they are there. So what I'm trying to say, we need to create that. I think we need to sensitize the way the public, the involvement, the activeness, especially just to, not only for SWAPO. Civics education. Exactly. But not SWAPO, it should also start from this education, the primary school, so they can able to understand. And just to also to share with you, recently we make a motion to move a motion of junior council, because we also realize that the young people, they need also to start understand the role of governance in terms of local government. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Eliud, how is AR going to deal with the issues of debts owed to the municipality that you are leading, but people owe money and you need that money for you to be able to deliver these services? That paradox.
Thank you very much, Toivo. I think we managed to collect a lot of money when the AIC was a mayor of the city of Windhoek, and we happened to pay off the debt, I think, to Nampower at that point in time. So now, what you need to do is to ensure that your people that are owing, you go after them through whatever process you are going through. But then you need to protect people from further owing these local authorities. And then the best way you can do that is just to ensure that you have services that are affordable to the people. But also the weakness we have in our local authorities is that their services are not accessible to the people. They don't reach as many people as possible. That's why they're unable to collect more money. But we also do not necessarily agree with outside debt collectors. We can do that internally, so that you are able not to spend a lot of money, and those people that are owing also not to pay a lot. So that is one of the strategy. But we are saying people who are owing, you also need, and I spoke about it earlier to say, you also need to categorize people. Who is owing? Is it a single mother who does not have a job? Or is it a business person who is connecting this power illegally? So you need to categorize those people. So if you have people who are just owing because they are reckless, then they must pay, but protect them from owing further. But then if it's just a single mother or an unemployed person who is owing, then what do you do in their case is to ensure that the way they pay services to this local authority is a little bit sustainable. So that is what you need to do. And I think, Toivo, what we are saying is that because public space must be provided with correct information. I lived in Walvis until, I think, 2022. So for us to say that after now there are some conditions that are happening there, I don't think there's factual information about that. Because when I lived in Walvis and when I go back now, the situation is very bad. We shouldn't say there's some ecological things that are developing. It's actually incompetence of people who are leading that town council or that municipality there in Walvis. So, and we need to ensure that wherever we deploy our people, we have capable people there. So that is what we are saying.
Okay, Ms. Akamos will reply later, but let's go to Tatesigo for now. The issue of land, Tatesigo, as a businessman, I don't know in which enterprise you are exactly, but let's assume that you want to be in property development and stuff like that. How difficult is it to get land, or even easier to get land from municipalities? What are those things that make it very, very difficult for you to buy land from a town council for you to start your business of property development?
Dear Toivo, dear viewers, to me this is a very much gold and good and expensive time if it can be bought. to sit here. I can see a lot of young people there, viewers. Toivo, to be honest, you are right. It's very difficult to find and or to buy land. Why? Namibia is still a developing country, not yet developed, to be honest. So, but our young people doesn't want to understand. Yeah, they are always complaining. The government of the government, Namibian government, is not doing anything to give the land to the people, but there are policies to be followed. And most of us, we are not following that policy to apply for the land, not to buy for it. And that, the background, it came like, it is a wow, so the Namibian, this country is just like that. People need land, the country is not giving land to the people. But the policy, Toivo, is very important to be followed. Thank you very much.
Is it to be followed, Dr. Sigo? Is it for the policies to be followed or to be changed to make access to land easier?
Yeah, to be changed is very much important, but the government sometimes is also very difficult to change it because of the manners that we used to follow.
Yeah.
To get to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sigo. Silas, your party is leading almost every local authority in the southern regions.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. Except for Regiment
Yeah.
and Ludret.
Yeah.
But your Kietmanses, your Marintals, Arwa, Stamprit, all those areas are under your party's leadership. What has been the success of your party in those areas to inspire people to say what we have done in this particular local authority can be replicated in Ondangwa if we were given the opportunity? Are you proud of any particular way in which LPM is running things there in the south?
Thank you. I understand very well that LPM is doing fine in the south. That's why the masses and the people in the south, they love the LPM, the landless people, because the party is doing what the people like, and they are very much interested in what the party is doing. But there is some few challenge when it comes to development, which is affected by the budget. We all know how the budget is coming. And who's responsible for giving a budget. So what happened now is that, so the government, they find out, like, okay, it's fine. So their LPM is governing there. So now they don't want to give more budget there. So that because they know exactly that do they give enough money there, the party is going to do everything, because LPM is much interested into the restoration of the people's dignity. Yeah. So now they are trying by all means to block everything so that LPM cannot meet the need of the people. But our councillors in the south, they have been trying hard to contribute. And I remember the amount of money that was raised there, it was about 600,000. Yeah. So that money was raised to help the community, the parents who cannot afford to pay the school fee of their kids. Yeah. So I never had any other political party that did that. It's only LPM who did that. Okay. So for that good reason, so once we also become elected here, so we will surely do that because it is into the DNA of the landless people's movement.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, Okay, so I just want to, because we are going to engage the audience also in a moment, for them to engage us and ask questions, make brief comments. But let me just give you the opportunity. The young man here, Elliot, from the affirmative repossession movement, says that he was a resident of Walvis Bay, and when he visits the town, it is a shadow of its former self. He says that the local leadership there, led by your party, should take responsibility and admit that the town has degenerated under your leadership. Maybe I thought it would be nice just to give you the opportunity.
I appreciate the sentiment of the young man, because he says he's a resident of Walvis Bay. And when I responded earlier on, Toivo, at no point did I say there's no problems in Walvis Bay. I was very clear. I said there are potholes, there were problems with the trucks of refuse removal. Personally, we had to advance resources to Walvis Bay to get refuse removed. And I also further qualified that by saying that the delay in the procurement of the 5 trucks for refuse removal, for example, was dependent on the approval of the purchase of that. We spoke about the authority that has to authorize some of these things. Purchases, there's a procurement act that prescribes how public procurement should be done. It's not a very straightforward thing. Any of these councillors will explain to you how long it takes. You were in the public space, Trevor, I don't know why I'm calling it Trevor. And you know how that works. So I don't dismiss the sentiments that, yes, the conditions have deteriorated. I have justified that by saying we had issues with the funds that have been committed to fix the roads, for that to be cleared. We had issues with the trucks that had to be procured, for that to be done. And because we are now in a space where we are able to execute those things, we are dealing with them. The problem with Walvis Bay is the politics. Yes, of Walvis Bay, and everything that has to do with Walvis Bay gets blown out of proportion. I understand. It's the neck, it's the port of entry when it comes to economic activity. So,
but the approvals, Christine, the approvals, the fact that the budget and all this release of funds had to come from the higher authority is not a new thing. Are you implying that it's no longer happening at the same pace as it happened when other...
I think earlier on I said to you, we had serious problem with the previous Minister of Mood. I can't give that the Sankwasa problems now because I've not engaged him yet, or I've not experienced that. We've had the issue of Omuthia. We had councillors in Omuthia who were suspended for 2 whole years. We struggled to get the minister to respond and to act and to apply the law my brother is replying to. We struggled. We had the same problem in Walvis Bay with the appointment of the CEO. We had the same problem in the city of Windhoek with the appointment of the CEO. So it takes a lot of fights and push to get these things approved, provided you have somebody who understands that at the end of the day, it's not IPC that suffers. It's my brother who lives in Walvis Bay whose car gets damaged, or who struggles because his refuse is not taken, or his brothers and sisters who get sick because that refuse breeds germs for them to inhale, and that causes other problems. But our leaders need to understand it's not about any of us as individuals. It's for my children, it's for their children, it's for our brothers and sisters that we need to take decisions for. Public space or public office is not for political parties to score points and to compete and say, I speak better English or I have a better ideology. It's about that old lady, the single mother who's unable to pay for her water. How do we as leaders collectively take a decision that can help her to raise her children with water in her house?
Absolutely.
Those are for me critical things.
Absolutely.
Nothing else.
Absolutely. The last question before we go to the audience goes to Mr. Madila, our capable host. Mr. Madila, the issue of housing, everybody's talking about housing being such a challenge. I was speaking to someone a week ago, and that person sort of really blew my eyes wide open. This person says, your NHEs, which is a state entity designed to deal with, to actually deliver affordable housing. The people that I was speaking to work for NHE themselves, and they are saying, they were defending themselves to say, we are not failing. We are trying our best, but land in municipal areas is simply unaffordable to us as an NHE. If I have to buy a plot for 300,000 or 200,000, then naturally I would also have to add on top of that, when I build that house, I have to recoup some of these funds, unless I was subsidized by government to do that. So municipalities are selling land very expensively. NHE can not afford them, and if they afford them, then me as the end consumer to buy that house will be almost impossible, because it will reflect also the cost of acquiring that land. What is in place for municipalities to deal with the issue of land? Do you, for example, want to be subsidized by government so that you can also then sell this land more cheaply? Because I suppose if you are not subsidized properly, you also need for your own survival to sell this land expensively. Sorry, it's a long question, but that is my point.
Yeah, I get you. Thank you very much, Toy, for bringing that question, because it's a national issue. Because first and foremost, we must start who owns the land, especially the communal land here. Firstly, the land has belonged to the regional authorities. And when the town council or the municipality proclaimed, so the land become the municipalities. Now you have a vigilant land, you call it a vigilant land or farmland. So now you need, within the boundary of the town council, there are now homesteads that you need to compensate them. The issue of compensation, that's an issue, because the government need to use out money to compensate the owner of that land. Yeah. So once you compensate the land, you need to service the land, which is costly. And Ondangwa become unfortunate because it's part of Oshana region, which Oshakati is the regional capital, which get more subsidies from the government, from the central government. As I indicated earlier, my colleagues, they are saying, Ondangwa, why we are not doing this and that. And I have to appreciate our communities, especially the inhabitants, because they are really, most of them, they are honoring their bills, because otherwise you could not really how Ondangwa is doing now, because of the way they're prudent, the way they make sure that we receive our revenue so that we can sustain our other services. So, but coming to back to your question to say why I think we need, what I always, when we have engagement with the ministers, other senior officials from the minister and ministry, is to say they need to have a reviewing of compensation policies, which is, I'm happy that I think it's been reviewed now. Because once now you have that, at least you need to appreciate, once you get the land, the issue of servicing, and through, only you can do it if you don't, because the councillor does not really have a capacity in terms of technical. You need engineers, you need the surveyors, and I think you can mention them, those that are involved in terms of bringing up a single unit of a plot. Because it's only because I don't have a statistics here, the followers, whoever, maybe you can Google, and then how much just to service maybe 300 square meters. Just a residential area, how much is cost? Is where we can able to start off to say why we are not providing as a councillor or as a municipality cannot able to provide. You are talking about NHE. Ondangwa is the first in Namibia to allocate land which is around almost like 100 or 250 something, 150. Recently, I think 2 years ago, which is now completely constructed. We made a very aggressive decision to say, because the area, it's where even my grandmother was compensated. And we made to put for informal, not really informal, but low income. And through the statistic, the applications, we realized that most of them, they are teachers in correctional services and NDF. And these are the people that are with the subsidies. And then now we make a decision to say, okay, that area, which we recently make a decision to say is for the lower income. And then we say, okay, that's fine. Let's just give it to NHE. So that our people that are within low and middle income can able to benefit in terms of acquiring the housing and land. So what the issue is, we need to think of the subsidy. I think the land ministry need to think of, I don't know now, we have through our new manifesto, we're talking about benefications of natural resources. I'm just proposing to say, maybe the council should we have fish quotas, we have mines that can able to subsidize, choose through the grants, and I don't know what modality as a government. And we are getting there with this new administration, and we really, through our 7 priorities that the manifesto implementation plan speaks about. So we really need to think about as Namibians, as SG talk about as Namibians. Let's come together collectively with a shared vision.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Madila, our host. So we are now going to talk to the audience now. I don't know if we have oh yeah, we do, yeah. So please, the rules are very simple. Put your hand up, you get an opportunity to ask a question. Mention clearly to whom the question is directed to. If it's a comment, comments in particular must be as short as possible so that we give as many people as possible an opportunity to engage our panelists. The young people of this school, you are encouraged. We need those young voices. So please also put up your questions if you have any.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicolas Sautoni. I have a comment. You guys, you're truly doing it in your favor, and sometimes, let me just say, just to embrace people from other towns or townist, but you are not doing it in the favor of voters. You came to us campaigning, promising us with good things, but you truly don't come back to us asking for advice. It is very painful to us. And I would like to thank one political party, that's IPC. Once IPC gets into local authority, I never heard about that issue of Bashu being destroyed away. I grew up in the Bashu that was destroyed by one of the government. It's very painful, the government that my parents had been voting for. It came to destroy our Bashu. And there's that issue of buying land from our parents. Just imagine, we are 20 in the same house, and you are coming with your 200,000 to pay my mom. So that didn't belong to you. For real, us, the kids, we will be suffering there. Until when it will be like that, if you want to pay or to buy the land from our parents or from someone, at least you must try to pay each and every person in that house. Where are we going? Now, just imagine paying our mom and my mother. Let me say, there's that issue of sister of my mom came and claimed the money. My mom go with her sister, ask it to be there, suffering with illegally. Our bus will be writing illegally move. It is very painful for real. You are doing it to embrace other towns and to embrace tourists, but not in our favors as voters. It is very painful.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time and your comment.
All right. My name is Veigo Jeremiah. My concern is on the land issue as well. About 3-4 years back, I wrote to the council on behalf of NCS, or the correctional facility, just requesting for few plots to be allocated to officers who can afford. And the response was like, there's nothing special about correctional officers. They should apply like any other individual. But Mr. Bao just made it clear that the council give land or plots allocate plots to property developers, which in my view, I think it's very wrong, because property developers are now overcharging us. Just for a single plot, in Ondango, you have to buy it from 200 to 250,000. A plot that is supposed to be in the region of less than 80,000. And when you apply for a plot, you have to pay a certain fee. Now, if you are allocating plots to property developers, why are you still encouraging people to apply for plots if you're not really gonna issue them to them? It's like a money-making scheme. Thank you.
Please pass it on to the next person. We appreciate the comments so far. Yes, ladies, for a change.
Good evening.
Very important.
Good evening. My name is Angelina Emmanuel. My first comment is towards Mr. Bayo, who said they waiver interest to business people. So it's actually a question, because we only don't have demarcations on businesses. We have residentials and industrial places. Do they also waiver interest on that? And also, there is a tendency of us coming here and saying, no, the audience don't pitch up. The audience do not come forward. If I can remember clearly, on the 20th of August, I think it was a week ago, I kept calling Mr. Bayo, asking him, there was a youth dialogue with the mayor. He didn't come back to me. He didn't tell me where it was taking place. But it was at 3 o'clock, and he didn't communicate. How do you expect somebody to come forward when you are not giving them information? It's like our people have a special audience they look forward to, and they don't communicate it to other people. And that is really wrong for us to come here and claim saying that the audience don't come forward. The audience are waiting for us to address them and invite them. And that is what we are expected to do. As a council, we go to them, tell them to vote for us. Yet we don't go back to them to tell them to come for meetings. What's so special that we announce meetings on radio and don't go back to them and wait that they come under a tree? By then, when we are campaigning, we go door to door to them to inform them. So actually, what I want to put forward here is that if there is a system whereby we can go to them door to door, why can't we get the information to them door to door? And on my last one is leaders. A true leader voted for must show the people that they can rise above political games to bring real development. We cannot sit here and say the government is cutting budget, the government is delaying procurement, pointing fingers at SWAPO as a ruling party. Yet we are expected to campaign comes October in a government that is still being run by SWAPO. Are you trying to tell me that you are not going to campaign because they are still going to delay and they are still going to cut budgets? That is the first question. Yet again, we are seeking here to serve the people, and we are not ready to rise beyond these political games. So, are we saying that as other political parties who are not in government now, we are going to be promising people what we are going to do to them, yet we are not going to deliver when we are not there? So, as political parties, we must rise beyond those political ideas and just trying to fool people. It's time we take it. And if there is a budget cut, if there is procurement delays, what are we going to do? So that is the question.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, please proceed. I think only 2 questions have been asked so far. The rest were comments, so we can still take in some questions. Go ahead, young man.
Thank you for the opportunity. Homse Brivaldo here. This is a question that I am addressing to all the members of the discussion, right? What I've highlighted through this discussion is the topic of economic growth through the leverage of certain SMEs in town should be focused on, right? But my problem is the current status quo is that the Namibian economy is lacking in diversity to the extent that we have industries, for example, the music and art industries that are being neglected, right? Okay, so my question is, what exactly are the initiatives that my members, that my intellects are planning to tackle this issue? Because we have rising youth members that want to engage in these industries, for example, the music industry or the art industry, but they are not given the opportunity because this industry has not developed. And also, I would like to thank Mrs. Christine on highlighting the fact that politics is not a game. Politics is about the people, the Namibian people. The Namibian political leaders right now have made it a gamble for votes and for popularity, but it is about who? The Namibian person, the Namibian civilian. Okay? So we need to actually focus on what the Namibian person want and what they desire.
Thank you, young man. Thank you. We'll take one more question before we go to the panel quickly and return.
Thank you so much. My name is Titus Kamwele. My question goes to Mr. Amadila. Yeah, Mr. Amadila, the question is very straight. Are you in support of the third parties who are property developers, or you are not? And if you are not in support, is there any mechanism, is the governing body of the town council that you have in place to give affordable houses to the residents? Put aside shack dwellers, NHE, because it's still costly. The shack dwellers houses, they are not up to standard. It can be a one-bedroom house, which we are looking at for the government to provide houses like the one we have in Oshakati West and Okere, the one we have in Tamara, the one from the colonial era. Why do we have to inherit laws that don't benefit our masses and put in place, or to say, and abolish the laws that have benefited our people before? This is very painful. For one, a cleaner cannot afford a house, but way back they could afford a brick house. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We'll quickly just revert to the panel briefly, and then we'll be coming back for the next round of questions and comments. Our host seems to have faced the most of the questions and comments. If you can respond. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. First, let me appreciate, because we want to hear the voice of young people. Namibia is built on democracy, where everybody must be able to share their views, as long as we are doing it in a proper, and all of us, of course, everybody have their rights. So my brother, you are talking about compensation, because a council cannot make a decision without aligned with or complying with the policies, because the compensation policy is a national document, which it's a standard document. It cannot only for Ndangwa, but for the whole Namibia as a nation. I think by saying the house was destroying, because we have a tendency of illegal settlers. And that is an issue, because when you are living within the jurisdiction or the boundary of the town, you have to comply with the policies and bylaws of that specific town. Because let's say now you put up this structure, and then that has been the land has been mapped and surveyed in terms of just to come up with the proper, in terms of servicing the land. Now you need to compensate that person who set up that structure illegally. So that's why we have the issue. I mean, we have that policy of saying if a person put up illegal structures need to be informed first. Yeah, because by law you cannot just evict somebody. You need to follow and then engage the person why So, and most of them in Ondangwa is one of the towns that not really just to destroy, but we make sure that we reallocate them. So back to my brother compensation, I think this is the national document, and you can just familiarize yourself with, because even the prices, they are there. It's how to, the land, the structures, compensation policy. It complies of all those informations. And then my brother there, Mr. Veiko, yes, I understand the issue of the contractors, the developers. I think when we make a decision to say it came out of the, because if you go around Ondangwa, there are a lot of people who have been allocated as an individual. And I mentioned earlier to say the COVID, some people lose jobs, some people cannot even afford, because to acquire a land in town, there are a lot of cost involved. It's not just for you to have a house there. The rate of taxes, you need to buy that land. And then after that, then you have to register through the deed of sales, deed office. So you need to have that. Once you allocated that land, because the council will only give you the allocation later. Then the council need to in structures there. For us also to get what? A rate of taxes and water. So now most of the time now you find people have been allocated as individual. Then we come up with the idea to say, and then it takes 10 years. That person, it doesn't even pay the land tax, because if the land is not developed, but the council need to generate the revenue, because the land is having services. Yeah. So meaning now what we are seeing, we have that issue of the challenge. Most of the people have been allocated that land. When they go to the bank for finance that land, they could not afford assessment, credit assessment, I think there's a word. So now, my brother indicated that we cannot talk about Sheikh Dwellers NHE. These are the platform where the government put in place so that our low income, Toivo, I think the way our economy at the northern side, not like other area where most of the people are employed at the level of ED, you have the doctors. Those are the few people that are able to afford the houses here. That's why now we make a decision to say, okay, the developers, can you come on board so that we can help our people, just to make sure you build that house. The issue now with the owners, the developers, they never even if you get hold, of their developer, they never even come back to us. They make their own decision there. To say, okay, now I'll build you these houses, it's how much? Because we put a kind of a cap, to say, especially the other side of Extension 25. Extension 25, we put a ceiling to say, let's all the developers to build a house for 600,000. That was the maximum. That's a maximum. And then we realized that the houses that people now, when they go to negotiate with the developers, because the subsidy, some they acquire that land because they wanted to do what? They negotiate with their own developers. So eventually, so I even heard, I think a week ago, that some even being lobbed. But I don't know, as a government now, we need a kind of a policy which can able to regulate in terms of marketing, housing marketing. I think the land policy is coming. I don't know whether it's been gazetted in terms of how to control even the rental. It's not only the houses, the rental. How many people are that being exploited in terms of you have a 2-bedroom, but now it's costing maybe 3,000. So we need, I think, a national policy that can able to regulate the developers. Because I don't think there is, but the council can make a decision. But if you go beyond making a decision, even the bank themselves, they must also come on board to say, if you want to approve that loan, they must go back, to the grassroots to see what types of, or even the plan. Yeah, it's not need to say, to blame the council. The council can just avail the land. Yeah, and my sisters, the youth dialogue, the establishment of the council, because I think my brother, my senior, I can also testify on that to say we have locations. Location, this is the way the information, the flow of information, because we have a bottom-up approach, where you can able to say, let's engage our people. Because me, I came from the community. I've been raised here, I was born here. I always interact with my people through the structures. Politically, we have sections, we have branches, and we have district. Community, we have location committee, and where I can, if you can even tell me the young people, I'm talking about active participations in terms of decision, they must be represented. Ngengo wapore ikeni oshiwambo kuducha. Before jeri o committee edo do marukanda. Only tatekulus mekulus. And these are the people need to identify the problems. Because being a leader, you need to solve to identify the problems so that you can able to make a right decision. Yeah. If you are not engaging the young people, that's why I always engage with them. They say, I was part of the, my brother was making jokes with me when I was a secretary for Sunday school at the level of the DNSS. And that I wanted to find out how religious and how our Elsin engaging the young people. The Sunday school, young boy, I saved for 4 years. Yeah. And then I'll make a proposal to say, let's each parish to have, because I'm working with sports, let's each, and then it was like, I don't have a support because young people, they don't want to come on board. That's what I'm saying, my sister Angeline, we are always, I'm very sorry for not coming back to you, because really, but I make a call also, but did not pick up. So to say, no, I wanted, because this is not our platform. Yes. We even on 28, when we also invite 28, we are also engaging with the forum mayor. I mean the breakfast with all the business people. So on Dangwa we have a calendar. I think it was that distracted because of we could not really figure, because of the 26th August, we were supposed to engage, the mayor office was supposed to engage with the young people. And then I think the office just shifted so that we can able to have a quality product, a productive dialogue with the young people. It was one of our ideas to say, no, man, we need to engage our people. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Toivo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mr. Johannes, quickly.
Yeah.
In the interest of time.
Yes, yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Toivo. You know what I have seen, Toivo, currently as we are speaking, Namibia now in voting have a young nation that is voting. And it's high time now for the young people to come on board. They must be transformed from being voters only, but being part of decision making. So we should not only be there talking, but we are not getting into the system itself. Yeah. Because as we are talking now, we are having a young nation. I wanted to react to another point. Okay, maybe before I finish with that one is to say, the voices of the youth can only come forth if they are also part of the decision making. Let them come on board. Yeah. I've noticed it when I was a councillor in Ondangwa. There were many decisions that the elders that were with me by that time, because I was a young one, that were about to take, that were against the youth. But because I was in there and I speak out, one of the examples was the tennis court of Ondangwa before renovation. It was about to be dismantled or it was about to be moved to SOS. But because I stood on my motion and I say, before we move there or before the youth move there, then that area must be put to the certain level first. But because there was no resources, then the only option was to renovate the area. Let me come back to the point that Angelina was talking concerning political party campaigns and putting their manifestos into places. Yeah. One thing I took notice is that as citizens, it seems like there is no monitoring or being making those leaders that we have elected accountable. As soon as we are done, then it seems like every door have shut down. But if there was a monitoring system to make these leaders that we have elected into positions accountable to what they have vowed to, then things could be delivered. I wanted to react to the issue that I saw my brother there talking about SMEs. One thing I saw, Toivo, like now, even just to register a business, it's cumbersome. There's a lot of red tapes around that. If this process can be simplified, or if this registration of businesses can be smoothened, that even I can give you an examples of someone who even just want or build probably even a small shop in the village. Before you get the fitness paper to operate there, this person need to go to the hospital, get the fitness paper, but just to acquire that process, it takes long. And again, even within the rural area, you are expected to have a building plan. And look at the level and the standard within the community there. These people cannot even afford to come up with the proper building plans. Yeah. And if these things can be simplified, then at least we are talking of helping the SMEs and whatever that is coming on. And if you look currently now, we are having creative young people, but we are not tapping into these creative arts of fashion design and all these other things. The incentiveness, for me, I would say, they are not even enough, especially for people who are marginalized within our communities. It seems like the incentiveness that are even offered by government only meant for the well-off. We could see even with these cases that are going on, the well-off people are the ones who have their mouth closer to the storage. That is where they are being fed. Yeah. But our marginalized people, they within the rural area, within the location of Upopo and Omashaka, they are not catered for. And if these things can be, policy transformation, I think, would be the key to change these things.
You've made your point. So what we are going to do in the interest of time, we only have 5 or 6 minutes left. So what I'm going to do, I have to apologize to the crowd. I can't come back to you because of time. So I'll give everybody, the gentlemen have spoken. I'll give the 4 of the last. Okay. Let's just.
Sorry, Toivo.
Yeah.
Because my young boy will feel like he's not respected because he really lays the point to say, my brother, as a SWAPO manifesto implementation plan, which is now integrated to Namibian 6th National Development Plan, it speaks about 7 priorities, which now agriculture, sport, youth empowerment, and others. So we are now, there's an accelerations of implementations. If you talk about Sangpasa, Nekundi, the ministers, now there's a balance even. The cabinet and then the parliamentary. So meaning now there's even come down to the regions. My brother here, now we have a youth development fund that is now, circulating. But young people, let's get information. In terms of, I was listening to when the professor was talking about, when we were interviewing him, to talk about talent identification, talent development, and talent management. I really captured, and I wanted, as young as Namibians, we really need to identify our talent. Once we identify our talent, how do we develop our talent? And how do we make sure we have a mentor? The issue is about how we position ourselves.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. Wrap up your thoughts, Mr. Mwamenange, for us.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the young man is raising a very important question. He is saying the conversation that we have is just about SME. What about other type of activities so that we diversify our economy? And now references when they are being made to manifestos and all of that, we know these manifestos don't work. Vision 2030 they never worked. NDP 5 never worked. So a young man like that, and I teach learners like that, development studies, they don't trust these people.
Google.
So that's why he's asking that question. And when you are answering him with NDP 6 and manifestos, he's just there laughing that these things don't work because they know. We teach them those things, right? So that is why the young man is just saying, what do we do? So now what we need to do is that, and it's a problem with this SWAPO leadership sometimes, they are not creative enough. So other countries, even artists and people who are doing podcasts and all of that, in other countries they get paid for that, for their views and all of that. In this country, we don't do that. And then their councillor is just complaining to us, complaining. But then it's part and parcel of this ruling party, and those ideas could have channeled them through the party and then they get implemented. But he's talking to us like he does not have access to those people who make those decisions. And it becomes laughable to some of us when we are looking at those things. So young people, they are found in the AR movement. Our ideas, we are putting them out there, and they are well heard. So when you check Parliament, for instance, we have young people there. That is a platform for young people. It's the AR movement. And we take their ideas serious. For them, they won't be taken serious, and they quite know that. So the issue of housing, Toivo, very fast, is that, for instance, when you are talking about 10 December 1959, is that black people were moved from old location to Gatutura, isn't? They were moved and houses were built for them, right? But now, when these Wapo comrades are moving, the very same people, they don't put them anywhere. They just say, go to hell. Then people must see where to go, right? So we are even saying, there's a company, so that I can't remember the name, that NHE, before NHE came in, there was a company that the apartheid government used to build houses. That's why people are saying cleaners were able to afford housing. But now, when NHE came in, they were unable to build the houses. Those people for 20 years, I think they built 9,000 houses. NHE, I think since 2024, the very same number. So meaning colonial government were able to do well. So even youth funding, so in the AR movement we say the youth who are creative, they need to be funded. So the youth fund that is going on now, you look at it properly. If you read the document properly, it's written youth percentages, meaning someone who is not a youth can actually take me in their business, then they benefit through that. And these comrades are stealing like that, and they know very well that people are not reading. So some of us who are reading, we are seeing those documents. It's not for the youth. It's just for them connected people, and they get to do that. But we are monitoring the process. We see the name of beneficiaries, and we will take them accountable if they happen to do that. They will not steal through that fund.
Thank you.
They are watchdog.
That give us your final thoughts.
Yes, my last words, and the words to live with a youth here in front of me. There's a word that's saying we must meet the government half. That word is not just a decoration, it means something. That's why I want to leave with very few sentences to the youth that we can't fight youth empowerment with theory alone. We need skills, entrepreneurship, and industries that are rich to absorb young talent. I don't want to repeat. Yeah. So that's, everybody knows, especially the youth. We are always complaining, the government is not doing anything to us, but I repeat that the government is, I'm not saying the government done enough, but the government, no, I know the government needs to develop the industry's economy, that's for sure. So if you are just sitting and complaining like that, nothing will happen to us, will make us happy in our future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sigo.
Yeah.
Silas, your last thoughts, briefly.
Thank you very much. So my last contribution to make is only that the government need to work together with the youth, because there are certain things that are very much important in people's life. So because now when you look the situation in which now we are, so you can find 200 teachers or 200 educated people, they are in a queue, lining up for one interview only. Now, so it means now that there is a change that is needed now to be done among the youth now. So training and education. So through vocational trainings. So, for instance, hundreds of clothes that we are wearing. So if you read, it was made in Italy, made in China, so and wherever abroad. So those are the things that the youth need to consider. So because even if now you are saying now the government is giving out some money. So now what are you going to use that money? So even if you want given 100,000. Yeah. So if you don't have a proper plan on how you are going to use that money. So it is a wasting of time. So one can end up making a restaurant and a bar and something else, or just a barber shop. Yeah, yeah. So, but how many people are going to work there? So it means that there are a lot of things that need to be done. So education and the training for the youth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've made your point. NGS, they say ladies first, but now tonight is ladies last. Give us your last, you are throwing the last dice for us, briefly.
Thank you very much. I think I would like to also tag along the lines around youth. I've often said in Namibia, we've got first world rules for a third world country. We make things so difficult for our people, particularly young people. Secondly, the problem that we have is if you look at economies that are thriving, particularly on the innovation front, are economies that are deliberate in providing capital for thoughts, for ideas. If you finance ideas, you allow young people to thrive. These young people who are sitting there have got interests that you and I don't know. Their interests have nothing to do with the amagus I used to play when I was in high school. They probably don't even know what amagus is. But they play PlayStation 5 and they do all sorts of things that we don't understand. We need to feed those minds, but we need to create an enabling environment in which they can thrive. That thriving needs to be supported, and that support cannot be regulated, where we as leaders decide what we want to finance and how we want to finance. If my young brother's idea is to develop programs or an application, and the youth fund is saying we are funding ideas in agriculture, I'm cutting out my brother who wants to develop an app that can probably solve the problems in Kunene around getting medicine to people in the villages. So we have to, as a leadership, need to understand that we cannot take decisions for young people without them being involved. We must have young people involved in the thought processes. They should be around the table taking decisions and also be the ones that are crafting the idea of a Namibia tomorrow. 60 years from now, half this room will not be here. So we cannot set Agenda 2063 for young people when we will not be here. It doesn't make sense. Let us make sure that we open opportunities for these young people. Let us engage them and understand from them what type of economy would be most suitable for these young people when they are growing up, so that they fit into that and make a enabling environment in that regard.
Absolutely. No, I thank all of you. All of you, you have really, really made a compelling arguments. We now have an idea that if Bayo here is re-elected to Ondangwa Town Council, what does he want to do? Mr. Martin, the young man, Eliud, Tate Sigo, Silas, Mem Alchamus, I really, really thank all of you. Thank you for coming. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, my brother.
Yes. That is it for today. We see you in Omthia Wednesday, same platform.
Dit is 'n echt Namibiese inisiatief. Ons reis op die hartklop van Afrika en vertel stories van mense en hul dorpe op verskeie platforms insluitende televisie en sosiale media. Dit is joune, syne, julle en ook almal van hulle aan die ander kant van ons grense sinne. En dit maak van Aitsa 'n lekker ding. Kyk Aitsa Woensdae om 20:30 op NTV, oneup2.com, asook op Netwerk Media Hub en NTV Afrikaanse YouTube kanale. Volg ons op Facebook of besoek ons webwerf by aitsafrica.com.